All right, everybody, welcome back to the podcast. I hope you guys had the best Christmas and a happy new year. And the first guest this year is going to be Dana. And I met her in a um, angel class. I call it an angel class. She might call it something else, but it's where we connected with our angels. And then we opened a wellness center together. So we're going to talk a little bit about that and now what she's doing now because we're not either one of us are doing that right now. But so welcome, Dana. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Been out in this cold weather this morning and I'm like, oh my gosh, not ready for it.
Yeah, it's snowing quite a bit and it's so pretty. So it's
It is
exciting.
pretty. I thought this morning, I said, well, let's have the snow, let's have the hot chocolate and get all cozy and then just go away quickly. I'm
Yes.
more of a sun girl.
Yeah, me too. I'm ready for spring
Oh,
for
I bet
sure.
you are with that big farm you have. Do you I was going to ask you. I thought about you this morning because we were going to do the podcast. I thought, what is she doing this morning? Like in the cold? Like do you have to go out and feed whatever?
Yeah, you have to feed chickens and make sure their water isn't frozen and stuff like that. But
Mm,
yeah, it's not too bad right now because all we have is chickens. Our pigs are in the freezer now, so we only have a little bit of livestock to take care of, so that's nice. So
okay.
yeah,
Well,
this is
how
kind
did
of
you
our
go ahead?
I was gonna say this is kind of our downtime, the winter. There's not a whole lot to do, so it's kind of nice to get a little break.
Yeah, I bet because I know that you do so much, and I I was even telling my mom about what you do, and she was like, "How does she do all that?" I'm like, "I don't know," and she's like,
I don't
"Does she?"
know.
My mom even said, "Does she sleep?" I'm like, "I'm not sure,"
I try.
but tell us all you do and how you became the angel healer, and then what you do now and how it all came about.
Okay, so back in 2020, my daughter started having like these seizures out of the blue, and like the whole left side of her body would like completely go numb, shut down. She couldn't talk. We ended up in Riley for like a couple days and they ran all kinds of tests and they ended up saying it was this very like rare kind of condition called conversion disorder. So
Hmm.
it's a lot of stress induced. So when she would get really stressed out, her body just kind of shut down and she would just go into like a full blown seizure. And then when she would come to, she couldn't talk for a while. She couldn't walk. It was really rough. And we went to, a lot of doctor's appointments. They tried a bunch of different medicine and it just was not helping. Like she just kept having these seizures, like, I mean, multiple times a day. Like my bubbly, happy, talkative girl was like she developed tics, like she couldn't
Oh
speak.
my
And it was just wild. So after several months of, dealing with Western medicine and all of that, I'm very much into natural medicine, but I was scared my kid was going through this. So I started looking at other ways to help her with her stress. And I found someone here in Richmond. Her name's Melissa. She's wonderful. She does integrated energy therapy, which is very similar to Reiki, only there's some differences. So with the IET, um, you ask angels who are in the healing energy field to help take stress and pain and fear and all these things that we hold in the different centers of our body and release those, and then fill it up with like the good stuff, love
right.
and hope and peace and ease and all those things. And I started taking her there, and she started doing better.
Oh my
So,
god.
I mean, it didn't go away, but it wasn't multiple times a day. And she could talk, and she started going back to school, and because she was in high school at the time. Um, and then my daughter was like, "Mom, you really need to try this. It's so cool. Like, I think you would really like it." So I had a session with Melissa, and she's working on me, and it was amazing. And she's like, "I don't know why you're having me do this." And I was like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "You're a healer. Like, you can do this. Like, do you want to take my
Mhm.
class?" And I was like, "Yeah." So I've taken 3 of her classes. So third level, and I started, mostly just to help myself and help my daughter. And then I started, doing little empowerment sessions on my coworkers at work because we had a very stressful job, and everyone was just like, I feel so much better. Thank you. So yeah, that's kind of how I got started. And then, we met and we had the hidden gym, and I had a
Yeah,
little studio there and stayed really busy. Had a lot of
you
people,
did.
and it was really good. But then I took a new job to because I had done social work for 15 years, and I took a leap of faith, and now I'm teaching art. So it's pretty wild. I've had a lot of changes, but with that change, I kind of slowed down on doing the IET and started focusing on changing careers, and been busy with the farm. So yeah, that's kind of
Yeah,
how
well,
I
with
got here.
the EAT, um, you can do it with animals too now, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay. Do
there's
you
a
do
class
that?
you can take. I haven't taken that class. She's let me
Oh,
know
okay.
about it, but I haven't had time to do it. But I want to. I think it'd be really cool. I think when you take the class, you go to like a horse farm and you like work with
Mm.
horses, and like that would be really cool. So that's something that I want to do in the future. I just haven't got it done yet, but yeah.
Yeah, I thought you would do it, or I thought you had already did it because I thought, well, she's on that farm. She's probably like sending all the angels to her to
To my chickens,
the
lay more
chickens to make
eggs.
all these eggs.
Yeah.
Yeah, because all
Yeah,
them
don't.
eggs, I miss those eggs so much.
Yes. But IET is really, really cool. I have a lot of people who are nervous about it. A lot of people, I don't know, they have a lot of questions. I'm a Christian. I believe in God. I believe He made all of us, with gifts, and then He also created angels. I mean, it's in the Bible. I don't know how many times about angels. And, when I'm using this gift, I'm asking God to send His angels to help these people. And I don't think there's anything people should be scared about, but I know a lot of people have, different feelings about the things. So I just try to
Well,
help as much as I can.
yeah, I think what people are really scared about these days is religion, the old religion, because it looks like all the new age is coming. But actually, my belief is the new age is just different words. So if we say, oh, your higher self, we mean God. And if we're
Right.
saying manifestation, we just mean prayer, just pray. And because if you want to manifest something, you just ask, believe, receive, just like it says in the Bible. It's just,
Right.
I think because we're using different words, the kids lingo today, then everybody's like, oh, this is a different, way. And it scares some, I've noticed the older people. And then some of it
Yeah.
don't. I remember an 80-year-old lady coming into the store and she's like, here, do me. And
Yeah.
then, the 50-year-olds were like, I'm not sure about this, but I've done it. I've done it to myself. I've had Melissa do it and I've had you do it. And I want to do it every day.
Yeah.
But, you know,
When I first took my first class, there was kind of issued like a challenge, like, hey, try this, the empowerments on yourself every day for like 30 days. And I felt great. Um,
yeah,
one of my human flaws is I know what I need to do. I just don't always do it. And I really need to get back into, really doing that every day and get back into doing yoga and things like that. But, life gets in the way, and we always can find a way to have excuses for not doing the things we know we should do. But yeah, I felt
I do that every
amazing when I
day.
was doing it every day.
I have excuses for everything, and I was driving saying, or I went to the chiropractor 2 days ago, and she said, "Well, why don't you do yoga?" And I'm like, "Well," and she said, "Just do it." And then I thought to myself, I'm driving home, I'm like, "Why are you just coming up with an excuse? Just do it." I mean, that, and we do that. Well, we'll do it another
Yeah.
day, and we do it another day. And the bad thing about it is, I've been this year. I'm not trying to put any goals out, but I've been like, I'm going to do the podcast once a week, and that's a whole week to do one thing. And then I said on my eBay, I'm going to. Sometimes I'll put a bunch of stuff on eBay and then I'll slack off. So I said, here's a 10 things you have to put on eBay, and you have a whole week to do it. So I'm actually starting little baby steps, because if I say, well, I'm going to go work out for an hour, and then I'm going to go list 40 things on eBay today. I'll never do it.
Yeah.
So
We
I'm
have to
just
make
starting off small.
small, achievable goals. I have lists everywhere of all the, my to-do list of all the things I need to be doing and stuff like that. So
Well, you
it's
go to
hard to stay
college
on track.
too now, right?
Yeah, so I'm actually in college too, on top of a new job in the farm, and yeah, and then I have a YouTube as well. So, yeah, it's I'm a busy
Yeah,
girl.
YouTube. And we'll link that down below. And then tell everybody what you do on YouTube because it's so much fun. I watch all your videos. I think they're so cool.
So I have a YouTube channel called Growing Dreams Homestead, and it is about our little homestead we have. So we started in town on like a third of an acre in Cambridge City, and I wasn't allowed to have chickens, but I did. I did have chickens even though I wasn't supposed to, and I had a little garden, and we just felt this like need in our heart that like we need to grow our own food. Like our food it's poison. Like everything in the store, it's horrible. It's not what we were made to eat.
Mm-mm.
And there's not a lot of choices out there. And I was like, you know what? Let's do this. So we bought 10 acres
Hmm.
out in the country. It was completely undeveloped. Like there's a bean field and a bunch of briars and some woods and a couple creeks, and so we started from scratch and we built our house and we have an orchard, we have pecan trees, I have a huge garden, we have chickens, we raise pigs through the summer. So we are filling our freezer and our cabinets with a lot of food that we grow right here. Not to say I don't go to the grocery, because I still go to the grocery, but there's a lot of aisles. I don't even like, people talk about the
Yeah.
price of meat. I haven't bought meat in years. I can tell you what it is, but I hear it's really high. So,
Yes.
everything is from our land. So I do a lot of, work there. I have a medicinal herb garden. I have a little flower
Mhm.
farm and I sell flowers. So yeah, just
Oh,
all the little fun stuff, and it brings me like so much joy. Like there's so much negativity in the world, and like the news is just constant fear-based things, and it's like I can't think about that. All I can think about is what I can do, and I can grow a garden and I can raise chickens. So that's
hmm.
kind of where we're at, and I love it. I love it so much. And
You seem so happy about it. I love that for you. And I actually wanted to tell you, my mom, I haven't had a steak since I've been back from Florida. And the other day I said, let's go get a steak. And we would bought 4 steaks and we didn't buy them. It was going to cost us over $70.
oh my
And I'm
gosh.
like, no, we're not doing that. So um, I just thought, not that we did, I mean, we had the money to do it, but I thought, I don't want to pay $70 for a steak. We just bought chicken. I made, I made chicken. And I tried to
Right?
get, the, I don't have all the stuff that you have, but I just tried to get, you know, no GMO or whatever it says, but I don't even think that's really true. Some of the
Yeah,
stuff
I
when
don't.
they say there's no sugar in it, I think there's sugar in it.
Unfortunately, I don't really trust a lot of the stuff that we're told on
I don't either.
labels or anything. So it's like I know where this stuff came from and I trust my sources because I grew it. So it
Right,
makes
right.
me feel a lot better. My dog keeps coming in here bothering
Well,
me.
that's
You're
fine.
wondering what I'm doing. She keeps coming in here. Ah,
Yeah, it's I mean, so many people would love to do what you're doing. So I'm
yeah,
glad that you're doing it and it's healthy. I would love to do that, but my life my life is always different. I don't know.
yeah,
I'm always changing and things are going around. It's like I was married for so long and then it's like I stayed in one place and now that I'm not married anymore, it's like I'm all over the place. I'm traveling and everything. So one day, but I don't know if I'll, do all that, but I can come to your house and get some eggs.
you can definitely come get some fresh produce and meat here. But I
Well,
think
that's good.
everybody can do something. Like you could put a tomato in a pot on your porch, and a
Right.
homegrown tomato is amazing. It's like
Yeah, I
store-bought
did that.
tomatoes
You gave me
are
one time.
they're gross.
Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, I know they're trying to do it because they're trying to make it as fast as they can because there's so many people eating. I deliver groceries to
Yeah.
people right now is what I do. And the reason I keep doing it and is because I have a YouTube channel and I'm trying to build all that stuff up eventually to do that. Um, but because I can have my own hours. So like I was working earlier and I just cut off and said, well, I don't have to. And sometimes I'm making $70 an hour. So it's a good thing. But I see all the people and sometimes I have to go shop and I'm like, people are eating all this stuff. There's stuff in there that I didn't even know that was in the store. And
Right.
I'm thinking, and it's all cardboard. I mean, literally, I am sending people because I'm like you. I get avocados. I get even that they're in the store. I love avocados. I love spinach. I love eggs. I eat a lot of the stuff on the outside. Not that I don't.
Right.
I do eat cookies and stuff like that. But um, I noticed that I'm like these people are eating nothing but cardboard. Like everything is in a cardboard box or in a can.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
don't think a lot of people know how to cook from scratch
Mm.
because it's been like a generational thing now, with like my parents' generation and things where like convenience food was the thing. And like people don't know how to make biscuits or bread or, so it's a different world. And I'm trying to get back to the old way. So,
Yeah, and I think people actually that aren't aware or awakened, which I call
mhm,
like a spiritual awakening, or just being aware, don't realize that this food's hurting them.
right.
They don't realize it. They haven't done, the research or, like you said, I'm just going to run through McDonald's because I have 10 kids and we have practice and this. I mean, I've done that. And when I was younger and
Yeah.
that didn't realize back then, it was like, "Oh my gosh," now I don't think I went to McDonald's in like 2 years, you
Yeah,
know?
I haven't been to McDonald's in like 4 years. Like I can't even smell it. It like literally makes me sick. Like,
Well, I was drinking
um,
I drink coconut milk this morning, and I was thinking, "How long has it been since I've drank coffee?" And it's like been over 4 years. I have stopped drinking coffee. I've stopped eating, like, I don't eat, what's it called? Like spaghetti. I don't eat, there's pizza. I don't eat anything like that. It's just it made me sick at one time, and so I and people can quit doing it. They can
right,
if they choose to. I chose to because I was just not feeling it, and my body's important to me, and it's like our temple, so we want to, you know, keep it good, and that's what you're
right.
doing with all your food, and that's great for your kids. I mean, they're probably tasting strawberries like we've never had.
Oh yeah, like my son, he's 11, but I would be watching strawberries like, ooh, these are about ready. He'd come home, get off the bus, and eat them. So he's like, oh, those strawberries are ready. I already ate them. So
Have
yeah,
you
he loves
ever,
it.
like, had him eat something from the grocery and show him the difference? Like, can he taste it?
He can. I can tell you, like, I have canned green beans since he's been little. So
Oh,
he has
wow.
only ever ate my homegrown canned green beans. And we went to my sister-in-law's and she had made dinner and she made green beans and they came from like a can from the store. And
Right.
he was like 4 or 5 and he's like, Mom, what's wrong with these green beans? Like he didn't like them. He knew they were different. So
Right.
yeah, you get used to that. And it's like now I eat so much stuff homemade. Like I went out to dinner the other night with my friends and it tore my stomach up. And it wasn't
Yeah.
like a cheap place. Like we went out to a nice dinner and I'm like, I can't eat that anymore. It's like my body's used to having homegrown food and
Yeah. That's why I've quit eating stuff. I'm like, this stuff doesn't even, and and here's the thing, like my mom, she'll say, "Well, I'm going to eat it," and then she'll be sick for 2 days, and I'm like, "Well, why don't you just not eat it anymore?" And she's like, "Oh, well, I'll just, not eat it as much." And I'm like, "But that your body's telling you, it's not working for you." So
right,
just and people don't. They're just like, "Oh, I have heartburn and I have this and I'll take a pill for that." And I'm like, "That's not the answer. The answer is to quit doing it and then your body
right,
feels fine because most of the time because have dropped those foods and coffee and all that, I feel good most of the time. I don't have to be like, "Well, I can't go because I have to go to the bathroom," or I can't g I usually I'm fine to go anywhere and do anything.
right. I
So,
know it's really sad because you look around and like our society is just so sick. And it's like not only are they being fed fear constantly, and then
Yeah.
they're being fed poison food. It's like it's a scary world we're living in, and I'm glad there's a lot of people who are seeing what's going on, and they're, trying to get healthy and trying to, heal their trauma and just try to do the right things, because we can't keep living like this. Like, this is not how we were meant to be, you know.
No, and that's why I started this podcast. It was so funny. I was in Florida and I'm like, what do I want to do? And I had went to a QHHT, which is Dolores Cannon. I don't know if you've ever did that, but
Oh yeah, love Dolores.
yeah.
I've
And
never had a
I
session. I want to do it, but
Oh
I've
my
never
god.
done it.
Well, this is so funny because I'm in Florida living,
Hmm.
and Serena messages me and says this girl is in Gulf Breeze, which is just a mile away from where I live. I actually got to
Wow.
live on the ocean. I was so like I thought it was like from heaven. Every day just wake up. But she was like she wants to give away a free session. And I'm like, "Excuse me?" So I messaged her cuz I'm thinking hundreds of people's messaged her, and they did. And she's like, "Yeah, anytime." Took me 20 minutes to get to her house. We set it up for
Yeah.
like a couple weeks and it was free. And I'm like, "Oh my god, like blessing." So that was wild. I that was wild. I actually was talking in third person, and it downloaded me from my higher self. It's almost like yourself telling you, "It's okay to do this. It's okay to do this." And then a couple weeks later, I said, "Well, what do I want to do?" And it was like, "Do a podcast." And so I just immediately put it on Facebook and like, "I want to do this." And people just message me and message me and message. And I mean, I probably have enough for the whole year of
Yeah.
people to interview. And
That's amazing.
and it's that's when I realized, God's got something to do with it. And that's why I'm doing this podcast. I want people to hear your story of how you become aware of what they're doing, and now you're, making your own food. And this one is helping people with QHHT, and, everybody tell their story because everybody's got a different story, but we're all
Right.
trying to do the same thing. Say, you know, we don't want to live like this anymore.
Right. We don't.
Mm-mm.
It's like we were made to be, in community with each other and with the earth, and it's become a big, power and fear-based world. And
Oh my gosh.
I think that's why I think everybody knows it's not right. I mean, if
Yeah.
there's people, there are still people who are just asleep and blinded to all of it, but I think most people are like, this isn't right. Like, what's happening in the world is not right. And it's definitely like, all of us moms, like, we don't want our kids to grow up this way. Like,
No.
I don't know.
No. And I think what happened when they did the whole stay at home thing is I think it kind of backfired because it's like now we've have our own jobs. We're are looking to build our own ways of food and different stuff because we don't want to do what the masses do. Somebody said yesterday, "Why is everybody buying these cups, those Stanley cups or whatever?" And I
Right.
and I said, and I don't care, I buy different cups too, but I said the reason it's blown up like that is because of the masses.
Right.
Somebody said, "Buy this cup," in the masses, and everybody bought it. And it came to my awareness um that how people are still following the masses. You see what I'm saying? And
Right.
they need to be following making our own food, waking up, realize what people are saying. Even in the Bible it says, "Watch what you speak." If people are speaking, "Oh my God, I'm sick all the time," and then people ask me literally, "Well, why am I sick all the time?" Well, you're
Right.
saying you're sick all the
You're right. It's like you're speaking that. I mean, like, I was sick over, like, right before Christmas. And it's like I am very much natural medicine, so I'm taking my elderberry tincture and, doing all my herbal things and drinking my tea. But I'm laying there with a fever, and I'm thanking God for my fever. I'm thanking Him for my immune system that's doing exactly what He made it to do. I'm thanking it for, fighting the whatever illness it is. And it's like people are so quick to like want a pill to fix something, and it's like your body is designed to heal. Like, we have been, that's how we're made. If you get a cut, it heals. Like, that's what
Yes.
our body can do if you treat it correctly. But if you speak negativity over it, you're going to stay sick. And if you feed yourself poison through food and what you're listening to and believing, you're going to stay sick. So you have to
Yeah.
know, like, I'm healthy. My body is an amazing machine that's able to do all these things. And once you start like paying attention to that stuff, like things start to fall into place. But it's like when you're having negative mindset, yeah, your life's gonna suck. It is, because you are speaking that over your life. Like, I all the time will hear people say something negative, and I'm like, please don't put that in the universe, because you're gonna make that happen. You
Right.
have to speak positivity, like you have to speak abundance and blessings over everything, and then you'll
Everything.
have it.
Everything.
Yeah, it's
My
like,
son said something, he's doing YouTube too, and
mhm,
he's getting like he got like 300,000 view or something like that. He one of his videos went viral, and he said, "I'm getting ready to blow up." And I said, "Get rid of the I'm getting ready and just say blowing up because
right,
even those little words, and other people hear him, and sometimes I'm thinking, "Oh my gosh, it's too cold." No, quit. Every morning when I get up, I try to say, I'm blessed for this bed. I'm blessed for, it's not my highest joy all the time. It's so funny how the universe messes with me because it always takes me places I don't want to be, like here. I want to be on the beach in Florida. But I'm thankful. One of the things I did realize is I was thankful for being there for 5 months, being on the
yeah,
beach, being able to live there. And now I'm here, but I'm here for a reason. My mom's needs me, and my grandma, we just found out that she had, some stuff. So I know why I'm here, and and I don't mind that. It's just I'm blessed to be here, and I know it, but a lot of people don't. Like you said, a lot of people don't. They
yeah,
don't watch what they're saying. That's why I'm talking about the awareness all the time. And I get on the I was watching myself make these videos, and I was like, I'm kind of saying negative all the time, like, well, be aware what you say, and watch what you're doing. And but I thought it's not negative. It's actually positive if the people hear it right. Like,
right.
you know,
Everyone can hear things their own way. Like, we could say the same thing and they're going to take it how they want. But the
yeah.
people who really are starting to see what's going on, I think as long as everybody starts thinking positively and having these positive affirmations, like, things are going to get better. Like, I'm hopeful. I'm very hopeful. It's hard to be that way sometimes because, like I said, the whole time you're on your phone or on any screen, it's just negative, negative, negative. But like, if I turn that off and look at my world that I'm in, my world's pretty awesome. Like, I get to teach art all day with the kids
Mhm.
who are just amazing. I have a wonderful family. My husband is amazing and supportive, and just, we have
Oh,
this land. I'm like, I'm blessed. Like, I don't know why I'm letting this device and all this negative news feed get me all worried about things, because my life is pretty amazing. So
oh wow,
I
that's
think if
nice.
people would just take a step back and look at their immediate world and what they have control over, they'd see they have it pretty good. And when you are like praying for things, don't just, please God, I need this, this, and this. No, you just tell
Mhm.
them, thank you for my blessings, and things will come to you. Like, I
Oh yeah.
never believed that before, but it has. I mean, we've opened up all these doors, and
Oh
I
my
never
god.
would have thought this was possible 5 years ago.
That's
So,
amazing. I love that. And see, that's what I'm focusing on now. Right now, I'm focusing on I want a certain house, and I'm like, oh, thank you for the house. I'm not saying God give me the house. I'm saying thank you, and I'm blessed to have this house. And I'm already looking like I'm going to paint this, and I'm going to paint. It's kind of like you have to be in it um,
right.
to manifest it, or bring it into your life, however you guys want to say it. But yeah, the positive, that's changed my whole life. That's changed my whole
Yeah.
life, and I always even when I was coming back, people were saying, "Well, what is people gonna say?" And I said, "There's a lot of people that are gonna judge us. They haven't even went there. So, those
Right.
are not the people, the people that say, "Oh my god, it was amazing that you even did it." That's the people you wanna be around. You need this is so everybody needs to hear this. Be around people like that. And that's another
Right.
reason why I love the podcast, because it's like-minded people. It's not pessimistic, and I could say I'm going to be a clown and you'd be like, okay. And you know we need people more like that to praise us what we're doing, like, look at all the good things you're bringing in the world, the QHHT, just whatever, all of it is good, and we need
Right.
to support each other
Yeah,
in
we
all of
do.
it.
And it's like it's sad because you know those people that are, like, negative all the time, and I'm like, I feel bad for them. I'm like, "Your life must be so sad that
Right.
all you do is just complain and you're upset," and it's just like, oh, it breaks my heart for them. And it's I don't know how to get somebody out of that place besides, praying for them and trying to help them see the positive, but some people just don't. So I try to stay positive, and even when things are hard, there are times where I'm like, man, this is rough. And you take a minute and you feel that, and then you have to kind of let that go and readjust and say, you know what, I'm gonna get through this. We've got through everything before. We're gonna get through all this, and just keep going.
Oh, I did. When I came back from Florida, like 6 days later, I sat down on the bed and just started bawling, and my mom was like, "Well, honey," and I'm like, "No, let me feel it." I went in my room and I was like, "I want to feel this and get it through me. How am I feeling?" I journaled. I'm a big journaler, so I'm like, "Okay, it's okay," and, telling myself it's okay, um, to
Right,
feel that way, because I remember as a child, I was told, "Don't cry." I'm sucking it up, and I don't wanna do that. I wanna let me cry for a day if I want to. I mean, let me be angry. I'm like, "I'm pissed today." Well, what's wrong? I just wanna be pissed. I'm just gonna sit in it and get let it go through your
right,
body, because if you don't, not only do we wanna be happy and feel that, we wanna feel the sadness too, because if we don't let it go through our bodies, then if we hold it, then it ends up being, I believe, a disease or
right,
something. Like your daughter with the stress, she was probably holding so
right.
much stress. Finally, it was just like, what do I do?
Yeah, and it just broke her. And that's
Yeah.
the thing. It's like when we hold on to those emotions, like they do, damage us. And, like especially men are told, you can't have these feelings. Like they can feel anger, but they can't be sad or any of those things. And so they hold those things in, women too. And when I like would work with these people, it was just amazing to just I could I don't know, it's weird. I could feel like the energy change, and like some would have just start crying, and it's like there's just so much we hold on to, and we hold it in different parts of our body, and it just
Oh my God.
just
Yeah.
sits there like a rock until we can finally just kind of let that go. And we're kind of programmed that way from childhood to just not have emotions and not show emotions and push down all your trauma. And sometimes you gotta work through it and get it out. We
Oh
can't
yeah.
hold
I,
it forever. It will make us sick.
yeah. I really, what you said about men too. There's a lot of more women that are awake, that are, feeling their emotions, and, than men. And I know that I was talking to other people about me being in relationships, and I said, well, I'd have to be with somebody that was, could feel their feelings and discuss. When I was with my husband, he was like, well, we don't want to talk about that. We don't want to talk. We never talked about anything. And I think
Right,
that's one of the reasons, we didn't, last. You have to be able to talk and feel your feelings and stuff like that, especially these days, to have a relationship, a good one.
yeah, it's a balance. I know my husband and I, like, if I'm strong, he might be weak, and I have to be there. And when I'm weak, he's strong, and we balance each other really well and communicate really well. And I think that's why, I mean, we've been together 15 years. So,
Oh,
and I think that's something that you need, but it's hard because we are, like I said, it's like we're trained from
yeah.
childhood of how we're supposed to feel and what we're supposed to do. And, sometimes
That's
you
what I've,
you do need to cry.
yes, it's good. When I had the store and the soul ties, people would come in and always say, I need a crystal. And then we'd end up talking for 2 hours. And then they say, oh, I don't really need a crystal, do I? which they'd end up buying stuff. But I remember one girl, she was telling me about her relationship, and I said, "Well, what about, you? What's your part in it?" And her eyes was so big because it was like she was just blaming him and not taking
Hmm.
any responsibility. And then finally she was like, "Well, it's my problem too." And I'm like, "Yeah, it's your
Yeah.
problem. And why are you staying there?" "Well, I don't have, and but you're allowing it." And she was like, she blew up. She cried and everything. And she's like, "I have never even heard anything like this." And I said, "I know. I never heard of it till like 10 years ago." I was doing the
Right.
same thing. So here, that's why I think I can, that's why I help people, is because I've been there and I didn't believe,
Right.
I thought anything, the person told me was true. And then none of it was. I just listen to myself now. Intuition, all the stuff.
Right. I think people need to do that more. I think a lot of people have gut feelings about things and intuition about things, and they try to like block it out or think that they're making things, it's not. You're not imagining things. Like your body
No.
knows and can give you insight into things. And just like like you had the idea for a podcast, it's like we get these little sparks of things, and that's like our calling. That's what we're meant to do. Like, don't ignore that stuff, even if it seems silly at the time. Like, go for it.
And that's what happened. Like, this is with anybody. Like, I wrote a book, and I put it on Amazon, and it's just a little book, but I just said, "Okay, well, I should write this book." So I did it. I didn't put it out for a year, but I had an editor say, "Oh, people need to read this. It's small, but it's a big punch, of information." And then the
Right.
podcast. But, there's been plenty of times that I haven't listened to, you know, there's another book coming through me, and I'm like, "Well, I don't know if you know, we're always doubting, and that's our
Yes.
ego. That's, our
Yes.
higher self or God. It's God talking to you saying, "Put the book out there. I want people to hear this. Put the podcast out. I want you to hear this. Dana, cook all this food. I want people to see this on the YouTube so they can, we're here to help and serve each other." And
Right.
I don't mean be a slave to somebody. It's be like, "Oh, look what she's doing. I want to do that." Or, "Oh my God, let's talk to her." That's how we serve. Um, but we all
Yeah,
believe that we're not good enough.
we have to inspire each other, because if we all just sit around, nobody's going to do anything. But it's like, I know there's some days I just don't want to do anything, and then I'll, watch, like I watch some gardening people and things like that, and then I'm like inspired, I'm up, I'm doing
Yeah.
what I need to do. And it's like sometimes we need another person to show us like you can do this.
Yeah. I do that. I've done eBay for 20 years. So sometimes I'm like, I am not doing eBay, but I'll watch somebody like, "Oh, I made, this thousand." I'm like, I'm up. Let's go do it. So yes,
Yeah.
people, that's why I said be around people, like-minded people. Um, that helps you to even grow. I mean, look, you probably watch videos and said, "Well, I'm going to do that and I'm going to do that." And I have learned so
Hmm.
much from just watching other people and how
Yeah.
to change their mindset, or how to, like you grow stuff, or, we can learn so much from people. But
Well, it's
I've
like everybody
noticed,
has those
huh?
individual sparks of ideas. Everyone
Mm.
has their own ideas, and then like you're like, oh, that's a good idea, and then they see your idea, and then next thing you know, everybody's like learning all this new cool stuff that is inspired by other people. So yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah. And I think that's why they tell people to, if you hear the small voice, that put it out there, because people are waiting for you. People want to hear what you have to say, and it's us that think they don't. So
Right. It's our
it's
doubt
our
of
programming.
ourselves, and it's hard to get away
Yeah,
from that. But the more
it is.
you
It's like,
take leaps of faith and believe in yourself, like the more confident you get. So yeah.
yeah, that's true. When you were a kid and your mom says, "Oh, be quiet and shut up." So when you have an idea, then your programming says, "Oh, just be quiet. Who are you?" And that's what we have to move
Yeah.
past and say, "Who am I not to?" because it's going to be somebody else.
Right.
So why, be the best that you can be. And because I love watching people just grow and grow and grow. It's
Yeah, it's
exciting.
amazing. It's like I'm the one clapping for people. It's like I know there's people out there who get like jealous and hateful, and it's like, why? Why are you? I don't understand people like that. It's like just
I
be
love it when
happy.
people get mad about me. I've had people message me and take me away about talking about money. And I thought, why is everybody bad about money? Because every day when I go to work, or you go to work, or John goes to work, or Tom, or human people go to work, they're going to make money. So,
Hmm.
and then everybody's like taboo, like, oh, we can't talk about money. We're all going every day to make money. So if you make more than another person, that's good, because when I've had money, I've helped this one or helped that one or helped this one. If I've had extra money and my bills are paid and my credit cards are paid off, yeah, I'm like, hey, you don't know how many times I've gave somebody on the street money. And my
Right.
kids are like, man, you're always giving them money. You can give it to me. But you know what I'm saying. I have a belief. Now, I didn't before, but I have a belief that the more money I make, the more people I can help.
Right.
And people
That's
get
what
upset
I
about,
think, I mean, that's what we're here for, is
yeah.
to love each other and build relationships and communities and, you know, enjoy life, and create. I don't know. That's just my thought.
No, it sounds so amazing. You should have like a big retreat down there. I know Tammy was going to have one, but I don't think she's ever done it.
Yeah. I'd love to, like, people are welcome to come visit. And I mean, I know a lot of people have no idea, like, how to grow a garden or what to do. And I talk to people all the time, and, people are getting really nervous about the food situation, like the inflation and cost of things. And I was talking to one girl and I said, just grow potatoes. Do you eat potatoes? She's like, yeah, we eat lots of potatoes. I'm like, just grow potatoes then. You don't have to have a huge garden and grow everything under the sun. But like last year, I planted 4 beds that were 4 foot by 12 foot of potatoes. I grew 150 pounds of potatoes. I have enough potatoes for my entire year.
Oh
And,
my,
and they're in the basement, and I go down and get them when I need potatoes. I don't have to go to buy them at the store. And even if you could just replace one food that you buy, I mean, and then you'll grow the confidence, well, I grew potatoes, so maybe can grow some onions, or
yeah,
maybe
good.
I can start some
Yeah.
strawberries. And, I had another friend, her daughter's really a picky eater, and she was like, I want to start a garden. I want to try to get her eating more stuff. I said, start with strawberries. I said, kids love strawberries, and it will
Mm,
give them like this trust of the food that you're growing, like this is good. So then maybe when you grow tomato and they've never really liked tomatoes or ate one fresh off the vine, they're going to have more trust to try that and try new things because they've already ate this awesome strawberry. And she's like, oh my gosh, that's a great idea. So she started a garden this year, and her daughter just loved it. She was out there checking their garden every day, and
now
stuff
you're
like that.
wanting,
It's like,
now I'm wanting to do a garden. But actually, let's talk about this, because this would be a good thing to talk about for people out there.
okay,
How much money does it save you
I
for
don't
like
even know. It's a lot. Like I
a
said,
lot of
we
money?
have
Like, how much can you grow like tomatoes or potatoes, like you were saying? And then if you go buy a bag of tomato or potatoes every week, for that's $5 for, every week for a
right.
year. I mean,
So like
how
I don't buy potatoes at all, garlic, onions, I don't buy any of that. Anything from tomatoes, spaghetti sauce, paste, diced tomatoes, I don't buy any of that.
wow.
I grow carrots, onions, let's see, celery. I grow all my celery, all my peppers. I chop and freeze those. And then we raise chickens and pigs. My mom raises beef cattle, so we get beef from her. And then my husband hunts, so we usually have deer. So we have 3 freezers full of meat. I have
Wow. I am
food.
so jealous.
I just learned how to do sourdough bread, and I was so scared to do it, and this is me doubting myself because I knew
Mhm.
like you have to keep it alive and you got to feed it and you got to do all this stuff. And I was so scared. I had a dehydrated starter for 2 years, 2 years, and I was scared to do it. And I started it, and it's been amazing. I haven't killed the thing. I'm making like these beautiful loaves of bread. It's just like, it's
Oh
awesome.
my
So,
gosh.
so it's like I
That
do buy flour and sugar, and I mean we do buy stuff at the store, but like I don't buy meat at the store. I don't buy any like tomato products, any potatoes, any of that stuff at the store because I we have it all here. And like a
that's
lot of stuff like
good.
chicken and noodles, I make noodles from flour and eggs for my chickens. Like I don't buy that stuff. So yeah,
Wow. That
it's
is
I
amazing.
think
Somebody that could save, a lot of money.
it could save a lot of money. And I sell eggs. I don't sell them for a lot, that. A lot of time I give them away to people. But like I try to offset the costs of like the chicken feed and stuff like that. But over time, like I save my seed potatoes from the year before. I never have to buy potatoes and I never have to buy seed potatoes. I just use the ones from the year before and keep going. I save seeds from other vegetables and stuff too. So, I do buy new seeds because there's new stuff I want to try and things like that. But a lot of it, once you get in a rhythm, yeah,
Right.
it can save a lot. It could save a family a lot of money. I mean, just
Wow.
having a couple chickens in the backyard, if you think about like protein, you would have protein every day.
Yes.
That
And
wouldn't
I
be
eat
something you
eggs
would have
every
to worry about.
I eat eggs
So
every single day, and I try to now that I'm
you
gonna
need
be
chickens.
I know, I do. I need a chicken well, I need to get a house first. I don't know if mom, wants some chickens here, but I'll tell you what, her whole backyard is humongous. I mean, it we could have a garden back there. It is that huge.
Yeah.
And, but I don't know. It's a
You
lot
can
of
do
work,
it.
though. It's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work, but I find joy in it.
Right,
Like
right,
to me, going out there to pull weeds for a couple hours, like I'm happy. I'm in the sun,
right.
my hands are in the
Mhm.
dirt. Like I don't see it as like anything I'm not upset to have to do. I look forward to that time in the garden. So, and I think people start small too. Like if you're
Yeah.
gonna do it, don't have a huge garden like I have. Like I've been doing this for years. I've got my system kind of down pat. If you've never done anything before, start small, do something that you can manage, and then as you gain confidence, move up from there. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I think
I
that
love
is
it. That's my happy place. Like my kid, if he's, looking for me, he comes to the garden in the summer. Like he
Mhm.
knows that's where I'm gonna be. If I'm not in the house, I'm in the garden. So,
Well, and that's earthing too, so I love that.
oh yeah,
I've watched, shows on earthing and how it helps, heal people. So
yeah. I know. Have you seen those sheets? The earthing sheets that you put on your bed and they
oh, yeah.
ground you while you're sleeping. I want to get some of those. They
I've
look
had
really cool.
I
I want to
had
try that.
I've had the pad. I bought the pad off Amazon, and my brother, use the little thing to see if it's doing anything, and, I had it under my desk when I lived where I lived before I went to Florida, and I would stand on it because in the wintertime, I mean, it was a couple days ago, I was walking barefooted outside.
Yeah,
It wasn't that cold, it was like 45 because I am a big person. That's one of the reasons why I'm always going to Florida. I will
yeah,
I don't even wear shoes there. I'm like I mean, unless I have to, like I'm going into the store or something, but I will
yeah. I
walk
don't like to
everywhere.
wear
I'll walk
shoes either.
walk the dog. I'll walk it. I put a pair of tennis shoes on because I was going to the gym. I said, "Well, I'll go to the gym." And I put my tennis shoes on and my son that's 29 years old said, "Mom, you look so weird with shoes on." Because I'm not he doesn't see
He's
me
like,
with
"Where are you going?"
flip-flops, you know?
Yeah,
Flip-flops or something I can kick off as fast as I can put them on because
right.
I'm a big earthing my brother's like, "Your daughter's out there standing on the ground."
Yeah,
So, I probably would like it, if I ever did, well, whenever I get a house, I think I wanna do just start small, start with tomatoes or, cucumbers, I love cucumbers.
yeah,
Can you grow spinach?
yeah. I have spinach growing right now in my greenhouse.
I love spinach. I love how about avocados?
You could grow a tree, you'd have to keep it inside,
Oh,
half
okay.
the year. Yeah,
that's more of a summer place.
it's a tropical. Yeah.
A tropical,
Yeah,
okay.
we're too cold here for that. Like I have
Right.
a lemon and a lime tree that I keep inside during the
Mm,
winter and then it's outside during the summer.
yeah, I
But
love
yeah, there's
lemons.
some things you just can't grow here, unfortunately.
Well, most of it we can though, so
Yeah, oh yeah. Like
that's good.
I have in my greenhouse right now, which is like my happy place in the winter because it's warm in there, and I don't have any heat in there, it's just from the sun, but I have spinach, cabbage, broccoli, lettuce, onions, cilantro. Like I have, it's green in there, and it's like
Right.
just going in there makes me happy. But yeah, we can grow a lot of stuff here.
So so it keeps it warm even from the sun from the winter?
Yeah, I mean, it still gets cold in there, so like
Mm,
I couldn't grow tomatoes in there. And right now it's too cold. But like stuff that's mostly cold hardy, like
mm,
all the brassicas and the greens and things, they're fine in there through the winter. Like last year I did lose a bunch of stuff when we had that polar vortex or whatever and it got like negative
mm.
20. Like there's no way to combat that. So it killed, the majority of my stuff in there. I think I had like two cabbages that survived, but like this winter's been pretty mild, so everything's, growing. So
Yeah, it's
it's
been
nice.
like I said, I was walking, I don't know. That's why I love the outside so much. Okay, well, I want you to send me all your links because I'm going to share them out. And
Okay.
anybody that wants to have a garden and eat healthy, basically, um,
Right.
yeah, it's
We are in
amazing.
control of you know, our immediate environment and we can do things to try to make it better. So that's what I'm trying
Yeah,
to do.
and I've looked up some shows like yours, and there's a lot of people that do that stuff.
Yeah.
I don't
There's
do
a
it, so I don't see it as much. But I was looking around, and I'm like, there's people that's like doing this.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of people. It's really a big movement. I think a lot of people who are like my age, early 40s, 30s and 40s, people are really like, you know what? Like we need to get to the country. We need to get our kids out in the woods. We need to be growing our food. And like people are just feeling like this pull in their heart that
Mhm.
that's where they need to be. And a lot of people are, shifting their lifestyle. And, I think it's great. I really
I
do.
do too. That's why, it's so funny about this. Like I call it a spiritual awakening, but you're a spiritual food awakening or spiritual mind awakening, like negativity or,
Hmm.
it all goes together.
Right.
Like
It's
me,
like it's
I,
so connected.
yes, like me, I don't have the garden, but I'm, really aware of my thoughts every minute of the day. It's ridiculous because, I mean, it's not ridiculous, but it's so on spot that somebody can say something and I'm just like, I can't even go there, you know,
It's
or I know
it's like
exactly what their
once
problem is.
yeah,
Huh?
once you see one thing, then it just leads you down this thing and you're like with my daughter, oh, she's got like all this energy blocks from stress and like this is helping her and here's some herbs that help her and oh, I can grow those and then like oh, our food is really bad and it causes, so I mean, you just start going down this whole rabbit hole and it's like you want to be spiritually healthy and physically healthy and you just like and then you're like how can I, give back and it just starts a whole chain
Yes.
reaction and like once people I think get that first glimpse of oh my god, this is what's really happening and this is how things really should be and they start seeing those things it just blows up from there and they start realizing all the things that are happening and then they try to make hopefully they try to make changes with their
Right. Yeah.
life and their family and yeah.
Now, how is your daughter now? Is she okay? Is she doing well?
She's doing good. She has her own place. She's 19.
Mhm.
She does come here and grocery shop in my house with all my stuff. She's good. She still has some seizures like, every, once a month or if she's really stressed, it might be more often, but it's way more managed and she doesn't have like the tics anymore. And
Good.
most of the time when she comes to, she can talk and she can move. I mean, it's kind of painful at first. Like for some reason, that left side is like shuts down.
Mm.
But she's doing a lot better than she was, and I hope one day it goes away completely. I have to, she's 19. I have to keep reminding her, stay positive, because she'll get
Yeah.
in this negative spiral, and I don't think it helps. She'll just start, saying all these things that are wrong or stressful, and I'm like, stop, you're doing this to yourself. Like, you got to stay positive. Like, I'll talk to her before she goes to work, and I'm like, you're going to have a great day. She's a waitress. I'm like, you're going to have a great day. You're going to make lots of money. All your customers are going to be super nice, and it's going to be awesome. And then she'll call me and she's like, it was a great day. Everybody was nice. I'm like, see, you gotta put that in the
It's funny
universe.
because Jerka, she was saying, she was like, why is this always happening to me? And I said, because you say this all the time. And she's, no, I don't. And then I watched one of her TikTok things and it said, well, we need to do this and this. And I'm like, well, she got it. I don't care how she gets it, if it's from a TikTok or from a mouse. If she gets it,
Right,
I just want her to get it. And
right,
I mean, literally, I was watching her thing and I was like, yes, yes. Because I was like, she's getting it or she wouldn't post that. But another thing
right.
I wanted to talk to you about or tell you about this was she called me and she said, I'm buying Lysol for $12. And I'm like,
What?
$12 for Lysol? Because her
That's
and
crazy.
Jasmine got sick and for like 24-hour flu or whatever, and they're fine now. But how we were talking about the food is getting expensive and stuff we're getting expensive. I said
Right,
Lysol's $12. I remember it was like a
right.
dollar,
Yeah.
a couple
Well,
dollars.
like she just gets some vinegar, wipe everything down with white vinegar.
I do vinegar. I do
Hmm.
peroxide. Not only do I wash my mouth off with peroxide, I'll wash my mirrors off with peroxide, and they do
Right?
wonderful. There's not like
Yeah,
streaks or anything. It's funny because my mom's like, "Well, what do you clean with?" And I said, "Vinegar, peroxide, and I need some baking soda." And she's like, and I said
right.
lemon. I take baking soda and lemon and mix it together and
Yes.
clean off the stoves and stuff. And she's like, "You don't use it?" I'm like,
Yeah.
"No, that's what I use."
Right. Right.
So I do
There's all
do
kinds
some.
of
I mean, I
natural
can't do
things.
all
Yeah.
of it, but I do what I can
Yeah, that's the thing. I think you just got to start small, make little changes, and you know,
because it's so much
and
chemicals. Not only
do the
the
stuff we know
chemicals
we
that,
need.
yeah, the chemicals aren't eating or, you know, in everything. Chemicals are in everything.
Right. I think everybody knows what we need to do. It's just the hard thing of doing it. Like, I need to do my IET empowerments and do my yoga and, eat the good food. And, we all
I'm
know
gonna
what we
start.
need to do. It's just getting that ability to do it.
Yeah, and when it's cold like this, for me, it's I don't even want to get out of bed.
Right.
But in the summertime, like, I will be out even when we lived there, my son would call me like, "Where are you?" I am outside. Like, I just
Right.
wanna be outside. It's so beautiful and tropical, you know? The last place we lived, he said, "What did you call it?" And I said, Gilligan's Island, because that's what it looked like. So and it was so, hot, and I like hot, some people don't, I do.
I love it. I'm always cold, though. I'm always, always cold. So
Yeah, I
I'm not
am.
made for this weather.
Well, I know. Well, thank you for coming on my podcast. I'm gonna have all your links down and you guys
Okay.
join her YouTube and you learn so much. And plus you just see how beautiful her place is and like all the things that she has and she shows you how to make different stuff that I don't know how to make. But we can all learn something from her and thank you for coming on, Dana. I really appreciate it.
Well, thanks for having me. It's good to see you. All
You too. I'll talk to you
right.
soon.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.